We're going to check out some new venues and see what's going on with Treasure Island here on SippyCupAdventures of Northern California. We'll talk about these 5 venues you can visit on Treasure Island and whatever this is.
This might be dangerous. But I don't know which ones are which, and you can't put this in the video.
Well, you're on right now.
I don't want to be on.
Welcome to SippyCupAdventures of Northern California. We are a travel channel specific to travel in Northern California.
In this video, we're going to spend about 2.5 minutes only in telling of the history of Treasure Island. I mean, we would need a lot more time to chronicle the island's fascinating history, but there are other videos out there for that. And this video's primary goal is to tell what's on the island in 2024. We will briefly talk of the island's cloudy, if not controversial, future beyond 2024, and then tell you what you can do on the island, and then how to get to the island. You cannot talk about Treasure Island without going over a bit of its history. Let's have someone who grew up on the island speak of its history. This is Kenny from Novel World Travels.
Treasure Island, California, right in the middle of San Francisco Bay. 1941, this became a naval base. It was originally built as a place to host the World's Fair in 1939. When World War II happened, the Navy came here and they started hosting families. And between then and in the early 90s, this was a naval base. And that's where my life comes in, living here. I grew up here and spent my whole childhood here. Went to school, did everything. The military decided to lease this during World War II and kept it ever since. In the 90s, they gave up the lease and San Francisco took it back over. So when the island was first built for the World's Fair, this here was one of the buildings that hosted it. It's the Treasure Island Museum. It's also been used in a lot of movies. One great example, movie I like is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. When they're leaving Berlin on the blimp, this place was used in that filming. And there's been quite a few other ones. And this is going to be one of the last things that's going to be left of the island after they redo everything.
Just to add to Kenny's information, San Francisco wanted to build another airport in the 1930s. In addition to Mills Field, the current site of SFO, they were looking for land. At the same time, the construction of the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge was about to be complete, and San Francisco wanted to celebrate these engineering feats.
So let's host a World Fair. It'll be the city's 3rd World Fair.
Let's host the fair on Yerba Buena Island.
It's too small.
Then let's build an island. FDR loves the idea.
Enter the federal government. They built Treasure Island.
Then World War II happened and FDR had to concentrate on that and not on the fair.
The World's Fair, called the Golden Gate International Exposition, went on as planned in 1939. It was successful.
The fair ended in 1940 and World War II was impossible to ignore, so the Navy then occupied the island.
So instead of becoming an airport, as was the original plan, it became the naval station Treasure Island. And as Kenny said, it remained a naval island until the 1990s.
So now in 2022, they're rebuilding and tearing down a lot of what was here. So it's going to be interesting to see what exists now still and what they've torn down.
So, briefly, what's the future of Treasure Island? Like Kenny alluded to, there are big changes coming to the island. There's been new affordable housing development for veterans that just opened up, and there's a ferry service, new roads, and new sewer system. But you have this from KQED, an article April 2023. Basically, the 3 land developers of 3 companies are all suing each other. No one's happy. No one's getting their money. This is going to put a kibosh on the development for a bit. Hopefully it gets better. Okay, so with all of that behind us, let's talk about 5 venues that you can go to on Treasure Island in 2024. We went to 4 of them, but we will talk about all 5 of them. Mercy, meaning Island Oasis in Old English, has live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from noon to 3. They serve up burgers, salads, tacos, roasted chicken, and meatball sandwiches, and even plates for your pooch. Yeah, on their website they don't give a menu, but because it's ever evolving, but they do give you this QR code. You can scan it and see the dog menu along with their other menu items. Mercy's sits adjacent to what's called the Great Lawn, where we've been to music events there in the past, and they host quite a few music events. Get a great view of the San Francisco skyline from Mercy's, so definitely highly recommended. We didn't eat this day, but we have eaten there before. But I would start your day, if you want to have lunch, here at Mercy's. Our next destination was Treecraft Distillery, located in the old Navy fire station. At Treecraft, they perfect grain to glass gin, vodka, rum, and whiskey.
So there's Treasure Fest going on, a monthly street fair on Treasure Island. So there's cars parked everywhere.
Yeah, on our visit, we learned of Treasure Fest. Treasure Fest is a weekend festival that happens every month on the last weekend of each month on Treasure Island. There's a cost to the event, but the event has live music, vendors, art, tons of food options. I'll leave a link to their website, a nice website I might add, in the description. So even though there's a cost to Treasure Fest, parking is free, and this is overflow parking, so it kind of hampered Treecraft a little bit, because if you wanted to visit, there's no place to park. Now, we did find a spot, and it does get more lively after Treasure Fest, they were saying. So
Treecraft Distillery, so we're a grain to glass distillery. So we do we produce everything right here on site. Right now we're doing 2 gins, a rum, and 3 whiskeys. So everything is produced right here. We're one of the rare few that actually do that.
Have another shot.
Have another shot.
This is the rum,
This is the rum.
white sugar wash, aged 6 months, but it's closer to a whiskey, Gordon said.
What's interesting is you can smell the hint of the whiskey. It's a little bit more than a hint, but it still smells sweet, like molasses and sugar would smell. So it's interesting. Again, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I could drink that.
No, rum and Dr. Pepper like your
Oh.
Sailor Jerry,
Yeah.
herding cats. What'd you say?
I said this might be dangerous. This is very tasty.
Lavender gin and a little bit of honey.
So thanks to Gordon and his hospitality at Treecraft Distillery, we move on to go visit Treasure Island Wines.
And what are we drinking?
They're rosé. They're rosé. I don't know much about it. They don't serve food here, but they recommend Island Cove Market. They got a nice little menu
It's right around the corner.
right around the corner.
Okay.
You can bring it back here and have some wine.
Go ahead and tell me a little about your venue here. This is Jim the Purveyor, so love the sign. I got the shirt.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Ted Lasso, your new coach.
But we've been here for 15 years. This used to be the commissary during World War II. This was a big kitchen where they provisioned ships that moored on the backside of the island, and it was a Navy base. The Navy left the base in 97. I showed up 10 years later in 07. I saw the place and I said, it's got all the infrastructure and the bones for a winery. And I took a look at it and said, give me a couple months to see if I can make something out of this. They had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah, Jim took us in the back room to explain the business while in between customers, and I think he's been here since 2007. He's heard it all about what the plans have been and what the plans are for the future. He's a little bullish on the future, but he was even in a National Geographic article that I read from 2014. So he's a player on the island. He knows what's going on, and I want to thank him for his time. And we bought 6 bottles of wine. Time to move on to the Treasure Island Museum and this historical building. I mean, there's a lot to say about this, but our stop here at this building is Gold Bar Whiskey Distillery.
So you can do this cocktail flight, includes 3 half cocktails, plus limited edition Flight Club t-shirt, $25. And these are like the gin cocktails that you could try, the whiskey cocktails that you could try. And they've got corn dogs made of lobster and crab.
Now the food menu here is a little limited, but we did try these millionaire corn dogs.
Close enough.
I don't know what this one is.
You have 3 craft cocktails.
Okay, I know this one's
Half.
gin,
Okay.
and this one's gin, and this one's gin.
They're all gin.
This one has Nairobi.
So it's a corn dog, a crab, and lobster gluten-free crust corn dog with aioli sauce. Pretty damn good.
And our final stop, which we actually did make it to, is Araceli Cafe. We just ran out of time. So I just took right off their website. They serve brunch, lunch, and dinner. And the menu items looks good, and a lot of people talked about it. Oh, did you go by Araceli? Well, we didn't quite make it there. So if you're going to have food, lunch, or dinner, you should plan your day visiting Treasure Island around Araceli or Mercy's to get the food. That's where the best food is. And we'll finish up by telling you how to get to Treasure Island. If you're coming by car, whether it's from San Francisco or from Oakland, you can Google Map it or Apple Maps or whatever map that you use to choose, follow the directions. If it's been a while since you've been to Treasure Island, there are some changes because of the construction, but it'll get you there. From San Francisco, if you're in the city, whether you live there or you're visiting, you can take a day trip to Treasure Island by using the ferry. Just navigate yourself to the ferry building on the Embarcadero and just look for the signs. It's pretty helpful there, pretty easy to find. And then scan the QR code, $10 round trip. The ferries come every 20 minutes and you're good to go. And finally, did you know that you could bike there? From Oakland, not from San Francisco yet, but this guy has a real helpful video, and I'll put that in the description down below if you want to know how to bike there. So thank you for watching Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California. We hope this video on Treasure Island 2024 is helpful and hope to see you on the island. Thanks again.